Hello, I'm Steve Weber, and welcome to Book Cheapskate. We're going to quickly mention today's top free Kindle books shown on the website, bookcheapskate.com. With me is Anna, my co-host and bookworm sidekick.
Hey there, happy to be diving in. We usually focus on the deals, but this list you sent over, it really highlights something fascinating about storytelling itself, doesn't it?
It really does.
Like how narrative hooks are evolving. We've got 6 really different titles here. So our mission today really is to kind of unpack what makes these specific genre blends and the structural stuff so grabby for readers right now.
Absolutely. This selection is just, well, it's a master class in how authors are mixing things up to create these hooks that you just can't ignore. We're definitely going beyond the blurbs today.
Right.
Giving you that deep dive into the, let's call it the structural genius behind, everything from ice sculpture murders to vampire knitting circles. It's quite the range. Exactly. And yeah, we do need to move quickly. These deals, as the source material always emphasizes, they disappear fast. But our focus, like always, is the analysis. So let's get into it.
Okay, ready when you are. Let's look at the architecture of these stories.
All right, kicking us off, let's start with some high-stakes stuff. Cold Justice by Taylor Stark. This is an FBI suspense thriller. The core hook, you've got this brilliant but really reckless FBI agent. She's been demoted, kind of exiled to the cold case unit.
Yeah, and what's so clever structurally there, I think, is that paradox. Getting demoted, usually bad news.
Right, a career ender, maybe?
Exactly, but here in the story, it actually frees her up. Shoving her off to cold cases pulls her out of the usual red tape of the active unit. It gives her the room, or maybe she needs the room to be reckless again, the very thing that probably got her busted in the first place.
And the source material nails this twist. She lands in the cold case unit and boom, first day, basically, she stumbles onto a live, very hot investigation. There's a killer actively turning victims into these dramatic ice sculptures during the Chicago winter.
Wow, that visual alone.
Right.
And the thematic link, right? The killer using the cold, literally, while she's in the cold case unit is fantastic.
It really works.
And it creates this, meta-narrative appeal, doesn't it? You're not just reading a whodunit, you're reading about redemption. She has to solve this terrifying immediate case to prove she's still got it.
Yeah, it's a great example structurally of how authors use that demotion or exile trope. It gives the main character that crucial bit of independence from the bosses, letting them, stir up the necessary chaos the plot needs.
Totally. So if you like those kinds of thrillers, the one's centered on a troubled protagonist who needs that second chance. This one definitely has that gritty series starter feel. Corinne Slaughter fans, maybe Lisa Reagan fans too.
Good comparison. Okay, so from a cold case that's actually hot, let's shift to a different kind of chill, a different kind of helplessness maybe. Next up, A Sister's Promise, a thriller by James Cain. This one's horror suspense, and wow, the narrative hook is one of the most structurally unique I've seen lately.
Oh, this one is genuinely fascinating because the narrator is the murder victim.
Right.
She's a ghost, and she's forced to watch her living sister try to investigate her death in their small town, naturally, where everyone's got secrets, including, the truth about what happened to the narrator herself.
But tension just ratchets up immediately because the ghost is structurally helpless, right? You, the reader, and the dead sister, you know so much more than the living sister who's actually in danger. But the ghost can't warn her at all.
It completely flips the script on the classic mystery. It stops being just about figuring out who did it. It becomes about watching this, palpable threat unfold in slow motion, knowing the whole time that the living sister is walking right into danger.
Yeah, the anxiety is the point.
Exactly. And it does raise that analytical question, doesn't it? Does this limit the traditional puzzle-solving aspect? Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But what it gains in suspense and emotional weight, huge.
Definitely.
The focus shifts from solving to just enduring the anxiety. It kind of weaponizes your knowledge as the reader, tying you right into that theme of sibling love, that protectiveness that even death can't stop. You feel the dead sister's panic.
So for readers who like that sharp sense of powerlessness but mixed with, small-town paranoia, this unique narrator setup really works. It's very effective.
Agreed. Okay, quite a pivot now.
A hard pivot, yeah.
Yeah.
From the ghostly perspective, let's jump way over into, delightful chaos feels like the right term. Crocheting Cauldrons by Nancy Warren. Paranormal cozy mystery. And the premise is just maximalist.
Yeah, the title alone tells you you're in for something different. So the protagonist inherits a knitting shop from her grandmother.
Yeah.
Standard cozy setup. Except, grandma's not dead. She's actually a vampire. And surprise, the protagonist finds out she's a witch.
Right.
but she can't knit.
At all.
Can't control her magic either. And she's got this magical creature sidekick that's totally uncontrollable. It's just layers of incompetence.
And that intentional incompetence, that's the key to the hook, I think.
Yeah.
Cozy mysteries usually have, an amateur detective who's maybe a bit quirky, but fundamentally good at something. Baking, running a bookshop, whatever.
Right, they have a baseline competence. But this flips it completely. The source called it delightfully chaotic, and that chaos is the secret ingredient. It wouldn't be funny if she was good at any of it.
Exactly. She's totally unqualified, running the shop, dealing with the vampire club.
Controlling the magic pet, solving a murder.
Zero qualifications.
Yeah.
And that speaks to maybe a modern reader's desire for just absurdity for fun over strict logic sometimes. The appeal is watching her mess everything up until she sort of accidentally finds the answer.
Yeah, the comedy comes straight from her being so profoundly out of her depth. It's less about deduction, more a funny adventure where, your knitting circle might actually involve undead members and real danger.
And even though it's book 3 in a series, that premise is so strong, so weirdly central, you could absolutely jump in here, assuming, of course, you're looking for supernatural stuff where the humor is genuinely strange.
Totally. If you think cozy mysteries need more vampires and witches who are terrible at witchcraft and knitting, this is your download. It proves genre rules are pretty flexible if you can make the result funny enough.
That's a perfect link, actually. From a protagonist struggling with competence to one facing massive social pressure. Let's switch gears again. Feels Like Home by Evelyn Adams. This one's an opposites attract small town romance.
Right, and in this one, that small town setting, it's not just charming backdrop, it's kind of weaponized.
How so?
Well, the heroine comes back home, her career's imploded, and she's dragging this, quote, trashy family history behind her. She's trying to fix her sister's life while constantly fighting off that uniquely Southern passive aggression, the bless your heart while gossiping about you.
Oh, yeah. That definitely raises the stakes beyond just will they or won't they. She's dealing with real social stigma, stuff that follows you around in a small town where everyone knows everyone's business. It makes everything harder for her.
Exactly. And then, of course, she gets tangled up with the town's #1 most eligible bachelor. Cue the major class divide conflict.
So structurally, what makes it interesting?
I think it's the burden it puts on the hero. It's one thing for a romance hero to get over his own, emotional baggage. That's standard.
Sure.
But it's much harder, and I think way more compelling for the reader, when he has to actively fight his entire social circle, his family, his friends, his class expectations. He has to choose her over all of that.
So it's not just internal angst for him. It's an external battle against, propriety and expectation.
Precisely. So if you want a romance where the stakes feel genuinely high, involving social exclusion, and where the heroine has real messy baggage, this analysis suggests the author used that small town vibe not for cuteness, but for maximum social friction.
Okay, that fight against social expectations. That's a good bridge to our next one, which also involves defying rules under pressure. Let's talk spies, secrets, and very stubborn heroines. A Dangerous Pursuit by Laura Beers. Regency historical romance, but with a serious spy twist.
Yeah, this blend is interesting. You've got your Regency heiress, but she's not just worrying about balls and finding a husband. No, she's got a social conscience. She starts an orphanage. And when one of her teachers disappears, she doesn't just wring her hands. She goes looking in the dangerous parts of London.
Okay, I like her already.
Right. Meanwhile, there's a spy working the same streets. He's hunting a French agent who's mixed up with some local radicals. And the beauty of the setup is her mission, finding the teacher, protecting her orphanage, slams her right into his high-stakes espionage world.
It immediately makes the Regency setting feel bigger, grittier, less about drawing rooms, more about the actual social conflicts of 19th century London.
Totally. And that collision course makes the whole forced cooperation trope feel really natural, not contrived. They start off disliking each other. He needs secrecy. She demands action, but their missions overlap, so they have to work together.
And crucially, she's stubborn. She won't just step aside because he flashes a metaphorical badge and says, national security.
Exactly. She refuses to be sidelined. So this is a signal for you, the listener. If you like historical fiction that digs into real danger, real social issues like, radical politics, poverty, not just pretty dresses, this mix of romance, social work, and spy games is really compelling. It gives the heroine real agency. She's driving the plot just as much as he is.
Not just the prize to be won.
Definitely not. Okay, that was intense. Now for something completely different.
Huh. Yeah, finally we get to maybe the most absurdly creative use of existing IP on the list. Barkham Asylum 2024 FCBD Special Edition by Yehudi Mercado.
This is just brilliant. It takes Arkham Asylum-like, the darkest, grimmest corner of the DC universe, and flips it into a middle-grade graphic novel premise driven entirely by humor.
The concept: the pets of Gotham's supervillains get sent to a maximum security pet prison.
Maximum security pet prison? I mean, come on. That high concept absurdity, it just hooks you instantly.
And the plot, just as ridiculous. To get visitation rights with their villain masters in Arkham, the pets have to win.
Oh, talent show.
A pet prison talent show. It's such a creative twist on existing characters and settings. The story focuses on Joker's dog teaming up with this tough stray cat to stop an evil vet.
It's got that Secret Life of Pets vibe, right? What do pets do when we aren't looking?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But infused with that specific, dark, weird humor of the Gotham universe. It's subversive, but still totally okay for middle-grade readers.
And an important practical note for you on this one, since it's a graphic novel, a special free comic book day edition, the visuals are everything.
Right.
To really get the full effect, appreciate the color, the art, the sources suggest reading it on a color tablet or maybe your desktop computer. A black and white Kindle screen might not do it justice. Good point. But yeah, it's just proof that great creativity doesn't always mean inventing something brand new from scratch. Sometimes it's about finding that truly original, maybe even bizarre twist on something familiar.
So if you're a DC fan with a good sense of humor, or maybe you're looking for something really inventive and funny superhero-wise for a younger reader, this blend of like prison drama and pet talent show madness is, well, it's pretty unique.
Absolutely off the charts, yeah.
Phew. Okay, that's 6 incredibly different free reads we've just unpacked, showing the whole spectrum of modern narrative hooks, really, from, like you said, the existential dread of a ghost narrator.
All the way to an absurdist pet prison talent show. The range today really shows how authors are pushing boundaries, blending genres, messing with expectations.
Yeah, whether it's the structural trick of the demoted agent getting freedom, or just the sheer chaos of a witch who can't actually do witchy things.
Right. They aren't just playing within the lines of a genre anymore. They're redrawing them by adding these unexpected layers of conflict or humor.
Which is exactly why you should grab these while they're free.
Yeah.
Study these little literary experiments. Remember what the site says.
Yeah.
These deals expire faster than you can say add to cart. So yeah, don't hesitate if any of these analyses sparked your interest.
Definitely investigate further. And maybe as you think about these 6 very different books, consider this final thought. What is it about that ingredient of, let's call it controlled chaos? You know, the cozy witch's total incompetence, or the heavy social baggage the small-town heroine carries, or just the sheer anarchy of a pet prison talent show. What makes those kinds of genre mashups feel so compelling, so memorable right now?
Is chaos the secret ingredient?
Maybe. Is the secret to a really addictive story hook just introducing some dynamic element that the main character absolutely cannot control? Something for you to chew on.